Hi, this is me again with another video in the series about Irish ancestors. And in this one, we're continuing our journey across the top menu bar. We've got as far as the Ancestors tab. So I'm going to click on that and show you what happens. What happens is that you get a form to fill out, which will give you a personalized, detailed report on what sources are relevant to the particular ancestry, those details you enter. I should say something about how this originated. This is actually the grandfather of the entire site. It's the first attempt to create an expert system or advice system for Irish genealogy. Um, where it comes from is the consultation service in the National Library of Ireland, which I was involved in setting up many, many, many moons ago in the early 1990s. And one of the things we used to do in there was we had a printed form. When people came in looking for advice about their ancestors, we asked them to fill out this form with whatever they knew, and then we gave them advice based on what they came back with. Um, it was a good way of concentrating people's minds on what they did and didn't know. And when they spoke to us, then they could say, "Well, I'm not sure about this," or "That date could be 10 years either way," or so on. But once you have it on a form, it's much easier to get your head around it. Um, and that's the origin of this. So it is a little long in the tooth, and the format is a bit old, but it has its advantages, and I'll talk about those in a few minutes. Um, they the main disadvantage is that there is no real advice. The report is a series of source lists. There's no advice about how you go about researching them. There's no balancing of which is or isn't more important. So it can be a bit bald, but it can also be quite useful, I think, just to see all of these things in one place. So I'm going to just go through the form, fill it in, and show you what comes back at you, and talk to you as well about which bits of it are free and which bits aren't. Okay, so let's start off with the surname, um, Bolger, Bulger. Again, you notice there's no forename, so this is based around a surname, occupation, religion, location, emigration, and so on. So Bulger, a Catholic. Occupation, let's say a railway worker. County of origin, again, without a county of origin for most purposes in terms of Irish research, you're unless you have a very unusual surname, you're in deep trouble. So we'll give him a county, Mr. Bolger. So Wexford he is. Now, place name. If you put in a place name, you get much more specific information, but the place name needs to match exactly the listing in my database. So for the moment, I'm just going to leave this as a county and show you what happens. So emigration, he left from, we don't know quite where. He went to North America, fair enough. The United States, fair enough. He left in 1880, fair enough. Dates in Ireland. So he was born in Ireland in 1865, we'd say. Married in Ireland in 1875, and he died in Ireland in 1899, having left in 1880. Stranger things have happened. Okay, so this is quite well, I have him there as a watchmaker. I meant to make him a railway worker. So there we go, and submit. And what you get is this. This is a summary of research sources relating to the surname, to the occupation you put in, to the emigration information, to the relating to Wexford. So, for example, first of all, you get the standard surname response page for Bulger, showing you where they are most common and showing you that there are 209 of them in Wexford. So you're going to have a job separating your Patrick Bulger from all the other Patrick Bulgers. Family histories, if there's published family histories. Families of County Wexford by Hilary Murphy, published in 1986. And you get the a sample location, a sample reference number. You get, because the date of birth we put in was after 1864, and there's a married date after 1864 as well, you get births. So Bulger births. And you can see there in Wexford, Enniscorthy, Gorey, Wexford Town. Okay, so there are plenty of Wexfords and Bulger. No, plenty of Bulgers in Wexford. Railway worker. The main source for this would be the Irish Transport Genealogical Archives in Houston Station, and that's a book about them published by Joseph Leckie. So again, you get references. Local histories, you get 59 local histories for County Wexford. You can see, because you only put in a county, this is quite general. We'll go back and we do something a bit more specific in a few minutes. You get 27 census type records. So this is a complete list of all the census type records and substitutes relevant to County Wexford. Commercial directories. These are directories that cover anywhere within Wexford, and you get a little link here beside them saying which towns. So for example, for the Slater's Royal National Commercial Directory in 1856, what towns in Wexford does it cover? Covers Enniscorthy, Ferns, Feathered, Gorey, New Ross, Newtonbarry, Tachman, Wexford. So you can see exactly which ones are covered by each directory there. You can see what this is really is a roadmap. These are things that are potentially relevant. Some of them will be more relevant than others. The estate records, there aren't that many for Wexford because I don't know of many. Most of them are in Wexford County Archives, so they're offline. Gravestones, graveyards and transcripts, there are 299, and you can see most of them are Brian Cantwell's Memorials of the Dead from North Wexford, which is a massive compendium of gravestones, of all the gravestones, basically all the surviving gravestones for Wexford and Wicklow. So that would be the main thing there. So that might end up being more relevant once you have a location from the birth records or to the marriage record. You end up going into more specifics. Local history, General Register Office records, the will sources, the Roman Catholic. Well, let's look at the General Register Office records. Okay, this gives a breakdown by the poor law unions of County Wexford and the Registrar's District, and shows exactly which records are where. The most important part of the page is actually this here. It gives you a summary of the indexes and the images that are online for free at irishgenealogy.ie. So for General Register Office, state records of births, marriages and deaths, irishgenealogy.ie is the bee's knees. That's basically the place to go. And that will be your first port of call, although this report doesn't say that. Will sources. Again, we said he died in Ireland in, I think, the 1890s. And you can see there are general card index records, the National Archives card index. So we're looking for, are there any will records? A railway worker, they could possibly be a will, but there's Waterford District will book online. So again, any of these records that are online, there should be a link to them. 339 Roman Catholic records. This is all of the Catholic records of County Wexford, and you can filter it by repository. So you can filter it by the National Library holding, and so on. Okay, go back. Newspaper indexes and printed passenger source lists. These are purely the printed lists. Now, these are not the online passenger lists. So that's a slight omission in this, say. You can see, again, from looking at that, it is useful as a sort of a summary to say, okay, these are the things I should be looking at, but then it's up to you to prioritize them. Let's go back and let's just talk about what is and isn't free here, first of all. All of the okay, this will cost you 1 view a day. This will cost you 1 view a day. All of the Wexford County records are free to view. Okay, so they won't cost you anything. Basically, the only thing that counts towards your free 5 free page views a day are the more specific ones. Okay, the specific relating to surname, and then if we go into the civil parish end of things, specifically relating to civil parishes. So let's go into the civil parishes first of all. Okay, this is a sample report that which is designed to produce as much information as possible. Okay, so it's a little bit fanciful. The surname is O'Brien. An O'Brien who is a member of the Church of Ireland, who was a barrister, who came from Cavan Town, who died in Ireland and emigrated and married. So everything is there. Okay, so first of all, if there's a coat of arms for the family, there it is. You just get the coat of arms, O'Brien coat of arms. Again, that's free. O'Brien and variant households in 19th century Ireland, in Griffiths. That's again the same surname result page that you get. O'Brien websites, if there are family history websites, there we are. There's 6 of them there. Let's see. There's this full surname history. If there's a surname history, there wasn't one for Bolger. Barrister, 4 records. So records for lawyers and barristers in Ireland. Let's see. Census. Now, here we are. Topographical dictionary entries for Ernie Civil Parish. So Cavan Town. Remember what we said we put in Cavan Town? These are all the entries relating to the parish that contains Cavan Town. So Ernie is the parish. So there are 4 entries in the Topographical Dictionary of 1837 for Ernie. There are 17 census type records, 5 graveyard listings. You can see already this is much more specific and focused. For book format, local histories, estate records, General Register Office records, directories, Church of Ireland records for Ernie, will records, newspaper indexes, and printed passenger list sources. So you can see the more specific you make the information, in particular, the more specific the place name information, the more detailed the result you get back. Okay, again, what can you do for free? Anything that relates to a civil parish counts as one of the 5 bites of the cherry that you get in every 24 hours on it. So otherwise, the rest of the more general ones are free to view. As I say, this does show its age in the sense that it is an expert system, kind of. It returns, for example, for a barrister, because that's a property occupation, it returns a different set of records than it would for somebody who is a labourer. If it's before all the dates are before 1864, you won't get any General Register Office records. It'll concentrate on church records. If it's the circumstances dictate, the circumstances of the individual whose records you're looking for dictate what records come back. But as I say, there's not much advice there. If you want to find out what these records are, you have to go into the browse section and look at the records and see what you can find out there about how to use them and how they relate to each other. So, as I say, it does show its age. This is very much a form-filling exercise, the result of a form-filling exercise. I think it's still worth having here. There are times when it's a good therapy to be able to get an overview of everything that might possibly be relevant and then work from there. So that's why it's still here. Anyway, I hope you find it useful. And if you have any questions about it, please contact me. In the meantime, Good hunting. Thank you.